Alan Mohler with Mohler Mixed Martial Arts, my partner, Joe Brunson. We're going to be going over today, guys, straight ankle lock. All right, my partner's going to be on his back. It's real important when you're doing the straight ankle lock, you need to be down tight to your partner's Achilles. There's only about 2 inches of play there, and you got to be down tight to that little Achilles tendon. So don't have your wrist too far up. Have it down as close to his heel as you can get it. All right, so it doesn't matter how you end up entering on this, but the important thing is you want to keep the thin part of your wrist pointing up, not the flat part. So as I grab a hold to his ankle here, my wrist slides all the way down, and I keep the thin part of my wrist pointing up. All right, now I'm going to do my set out drill. My hand comes to the mat, foot comes up, and I set out, placing my shin right behind my partner's thigh. Now, this hand's going to grab my wrist just as if I'm doing a guillotine choke, but now I'm doing it against his ankle. My elbows pinch in hard, and my foot comes to his hip. Not past it, but right on his hip. Now, keeping my elbows in, pushing hard with my foot, I look the eyes in the back of my head as I try to touch my head to the mat, or I can turn to my shoulder, not towards that knee, because they would call that knee reaping. So I can lean all the way to my shoulder, not my elbow, but all the way to my shoulder. And now I arch for the submission. So again, all I'm doing is sliding down my partner's leg all the way down to his heel, keeping the thin part of my wrist pointing up. Wrong, right. Now I place my hand on the mat and my foot comes up and I do my set out drill. I set out with my shin under him, my foot comes to his side, I grab my wrist just like I'm grabbing a guillotine choke. My elbows pinch in hard to my sides. Pushing with my foot, I try to touch the back of my head to the mat. Or I lean away from his knee, not to the point of my elbow, but all the way to my shoulder. Now, pushing with my foot, keeping my elbows in tight, I arch for the submission. All right, guys, that is straight ankle lock. And again, keep the thin part of your wrist pointing up, not the flat part, the thin part, right in their Achilles tendon here. There's only about 2 inches of play. The other thing is, make sure you don't lean towards your partner's knee. You'll get called for knee reaping, especially if you're doing an IBJJF tournament. And then the last thing is, make sure you don't place your foot past their hip, because you'll get called for knee reaping too. Keep your foot right on their hip, and don't look at them as you're finishing that technique. That's another common mistake. Just always roll the eyes in the back of your head until you get that tap. All right, guys, that was straight ankle lock from my partner's guard. And like anything else, you're going to have to drill that a lot if you want to reap the rewards. All right, guys, thank you for joining me and Joe Brunson on straight ankle lock.